Start streaming, we start schmoovin'. Hello guys. So, do you get my signal or not? Oh yeah, start Twitch separately. Hello, and welcome to finally another painting stream. Alright. God damn am I motivated. I'm back on track to make more videos, to make more streams and everything. And today we will leave the fantasy atmosphere that we usually have behind, because to be quite frank with you, you can only have so many days where you play it on repeat before you start going slightly insane. So today we will have some classical music, starting with Symphonic Gems Brahms Academic Festival Overture. God damn, I found this banger recently on Instagram in the shorts. So, you know it has to be good then. Alright, we should be live. Let me do one. Hey! Every time my camera does this. Alright. Let me do one last check. Via my phone, sound quality should be alright. I did check beforehand. I didn't completely mess this up. Excellent. Everything is in order. And you know what that means. That means we are in business today with Sly Marbo, the Militarum legend. A nice fine cast miniature that my girlfriend's parents gifted me for my birthday a few weeks ago. So yeah, thank you very much for that. I will hold it in honor, and that's why I thought, why not paint him on stream. It is, as Finecast has, as it is typical for Finecast, it was a complete pain to assemble him. It's like, I had to call Steve Rogers because he knows something about assembling. And he thankfully could help me put this thing together. Had to use super glue, which I'm not really a fan of. But, all that aside, I think it still is a cool miniature, and I'm very glad to have him as part of my army composition. I think him at a spearhead of Ogrins could be very cool. Especially now that my friend Theinrich is playing Tyranids. We, shared the Leviathan box set. He gave me the Space Marines. And as opposed to me, who hasn't even built a single Tyranid, he already has painted more or less his entire army. Because I made a speed painting for him, a speed painting guide that he completely ignored. Ain't that fun? You guys have to tell me if the music is a little bit loud. Though I'm fairly sure, usually it's barely audible, so I thought why not turn it up a bit. Alright, our focus today will lay on the paint job of his skin, because that's something that I definitely want to train, and a Catachan model is like the one human model that shows off the most skin, apart from like maybe Sister Repentia, I guess. Yeah, but I'd rather have a muscular dude on my table, if you catch my drift. Alright, I'm trying to do a lot of blending today. It won't be like that long of a stream because this miniature shouldn't be that complicated. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Hopefully, I hope that you guys are all doing well. I hope you really enjoyed the Saturnine trailer, to which I have a reaction on my channel. If you, want to check it out. I'm discussing the trailer, I'm discussing the new miniatures as well. Please give my commentary a chance. And yeah, I am very much on track to finally be able to return to a somewhat normal upload schedule in the next few weeks. For which I'm stoked. And all thanks to a little something called Trick 17, my second channel that I've opened with Heinrich, where we will post, some gaming content, some experimental content, stuff that I wouldn't normally post on my channel you know, to keep it strictly Warhammer and painting oriented and art oriented. And so we opened up that one, and really like catching a break from Warhammer is quite nice, to be honest. And now that I'm finally re-energized, I am back in full swing with like 5 videos completely prepared. We are set for months with this one. Ooh, hang on. Zakekstar567 from Twitch says, I caught your stream for a bit and really enjoyed it, even though I had to dip earlier. Right. I'd love to support more. Thank you. When do you usually go live? Feel free to add me on Discord. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. I usually stream, or rather I try to... Wow, so many people watching. Hello, guys. I try to stream now, my new streaming schedule, on the every Wednesday, either midday CET, so either from 11 to 3 p.m. CET, so Central European Time, or more in the evening. I'm not quite sure which one it'll be. I also plan to stream every Saturday or Sunday. So it's like my streaming schedule from back in the day is no longer accurate. I need to work out a new one because my degree requires more attention now, as I'm, you know, moving toward the end of it. So need to make sure that I don't miss classes, don't you know, that I catch all the homework, all the assignments. And that's why I need to work something out. But assuredly, I want to stream every Wednesday. Not quite sure if later in the evening or midday. So, can't tell you right, you know, completely, because I'm not sure myself. But thank you so much for the kind comment, and yeah, happy to have you here. Hopefully, if the music is a bit too much, I'm experimenting with that today. I can go back to the more, you know, calm tavern ambience, but holy shit. Brahms does not hold back. And neither do we, as we paint this hero of the Imperium. Again, focusing a lot on his skin today, as I want to finally get good at this stuff. My colleague, wow, holy shit, so many people. Thank you guys. Welcome to the stream. I hope you have fun. If you have any questions, I'd love to discuss miniatures and or the Saturnine trailer and or the Saturnine releases. If Inquisitor's here, I'd like to finally answer his long comment that he wrote under my video. Haven't gotten to that yet. But yeah, the next projects on YouTube will be first a Death Guard miniature, a Death Guard Rescue. Then a Stormcast Eternal painting scheme that is insanely easy. I've been to the gym all year, my arms don't look like that. Hey man, don't worry, I'm pretty sure that's only the if you, yeah, it's not that much. It's the it's the shirt. Don't worry. Oh, you're doing fine. I'm sure of it. But yeah, I've been to the gym too. My girlfriend forced me to go in there. Talked me into a 2-year plan before she dipped out of the gym. So that's fun. But yeah, where were we? Completely forgot. Oh, hang on, you probably mean Sly Marbo, don't you? Oh my god. Yeah, this is goals right here, ain't it? Just a man, his rifle and his biceps. This man is carrying some serious package. Some serious guns. Which we want to honor today. Catching all the highlights, all the veins. Because as we all know, you look perfect, you always gotta have perfect lighting and a pump on you. Yeah. As we wait for this first layer to dry, Maybe I should have started with... Ah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. We will take some dark grey, ashen grey, for his shirt. I did play around with the idea of giving him a white shirt, but I think that might look more confusing than anything. I think the grey ties it together rather nicely, gives it a proper silhouette. Goddamn right, finish on that statement. Alright, so what are you guys up to? Any miniature plans? Already saving up to buy the Saturnine set for Heresy? Because the first Heresy set was like an amazing deal. I really hope that... yeah, the community really clapped when... put their hands together when that set came out. It started with like 160, you could get it for like 160 euros. And then it went up to like 250. I think it's at 250 right now. Hang on. I'll have it a little bit calmer because holy shit, dude. Okay. Yeah. Kurosaki just subscribed. Hey man, I just caught that. Hell yeah. For some reason I don't get the... Why am I so dark, by the way? For some reason I don't get the notification sound when somebody subscribes. 11 viewers on YouTube. Hi guys, where you all coming from? I hope you're having a nice Father's Day. And yeah, what was I talking about again? Thank you for subscribing. Holy shit. Thank you for following on Twitch. Yeah, I do have more miniatures than I can possibly hope to paint, especially, you know, trying to film everything, because trust me, everything takes twice as long when you try to film it. But the first Horus Heresy deal was so good that I do definitely plan on getting the second set as well. It's just too good to pass up. If it stays a bargain. If it starts out right, you know, if it starts out with like 250 or something, that's too much. Then I wouldn't bother. I guess it would be fair, but again, I'm looking for a bargain. Would love to get my hands on the Terminator though, on the Terminator Praetor. Because that Saturnine set looks insane. With all the decorations, that's great. Is the music alright? Should it be louder? Should it be quieter? With all of this classic stuff, you never really know what might hit you. Alright, as the shirt dries, we can... The arms are still wet. Might be not the worst moment to go in with a little bit of blending. So let's do just that. Taking some Buckman's Glow. On a fine brush, medium size. Just go in. Hell yeah, look at this guy. We could give him grey hair if we wanted to. Really give him this aging warmonger vibe from Avatar. The Navi should be very glad that this guy didn't show up on their planet. This Tom Sully guy would have never stood a chance against him. My camera doesn't have autofocus, so I need to check every now and then to see if everything's still alright. And I'm also already, you know... I don't plan to wash this model. I want to leave the wash, the null out completely. I really want to paint all the highlights and all the shadows in directly. Taking my sweet, sweet time to finish this guy. But again, yeah, the next video will be... okay, to be very fair, the next video will be a little bit of more of an experimental one. Don't want to spoil it right away. But it will also, you know, shed a light on why I haven't uploaded in so long. Like, no proper videos. And after that one, we will have a Death Guard rescue miniature, followed by a Stormcast Eternal speed paint, and like a real speed paint because that was so insanely quick. The reason I haven't uploaded that before is because I was like, okay, this was too quick, I need to think of something else. But the miniature's done, the paint job is complete, like I couldn't think of anything. For months. And yeah, those will be the next 2 to 3 videos. After that we will have some Tyranids, some Skaven, followed by another Stormcast video, but that one will be more on the experimental side. I do want to try if you can get like nice results using oil paints, and I mean like strict oil paints straight from the tube. So the same paints that I would, for example, use on a canvas. And yeah, I think it's looking good. We are getting there. We need to be very careful with the highlights because what I usually tend to do is apply too much highlight and then, you know, have a very stark contrast because all of these, you know, middle layers are not seen. This is what I'm trying to avoid today, especially on his face. So many people watching. Hi guys. Hope you're having a great Thursday afternoon. Unfortunately, I am on a rather tight time schedule today. I can't be with you for too long, but you know, the next few hours are safe. Tomorrow will be... not tomorrow, but on Sunday there's a big Ren fair coming up. And I do wanna, you know... it's the biggest one around the town where I grew up in. And me and my family go there every year. Definitely a place where, you know, that definitely something that I wouldn't want to miss. So I will go home tomorrow. But of course I'll take my laptop with me, keeping the grind up, because I'm very, again, very motivated to finally come back to YouTube. This music basically plays now whenever I think about this channel. And of course you guys. Alright. So, done with the skin. The shirt is ready as well. What do we do next? The trousers, maybe? Yeah, the trousers. I want to give him some, you know, forest camo. So the normal ones look really plain, they're just plain green. But I think maybe some camo would be nice. So let's try a... Astellan green as the base, maybe? Or Vulcan green? Vulcan green. I like that. And then some splotches of Laurent Forest. And... no, not Skarsnik green, but Orc flesh. Yes. Alright. I think we're in business now. Maybe I do need to wash, but just like a little bit to get all the crevices. Because Finecast does have a habit of, you know, offering small splotches of, you know, small crevices where you can't get your brush into. I should probably pick a bigger brush for this as well. Ah, this music is so more, you know, really gets me pumped to paint this miniature. But again, any projects that you guys are working on? Been quite a while since I've gotten an update from you guys. For me, it's more like singular video projects and no big, like army projects. Though I do wanna, like, when Saturnine comes out, I definitely do wanna make a proper, like, Imperial Fist army. Yeah, loyalist, I know. And I'm guessing, so I have a good idea, a cool video concept for some Stormcasts. I really, like, had to bash my head against the wall for a few times to finally come up with something cool for those. And now I think I found it, so I guess since that will solely revolve around my Stormcast, technically that's an army project right there. And of course this one-man army right here. I haven't had a look at his stats yet, so this miniature came with its own stats. I think maybe even the new Codex book has a its own page for him. Definitely have to look that up. But we'll see. It just so happens that I actually don't find the time to play much Warhammer. So usually I play like 1 to 2 games a year. And those games are also more like games of convenience. So for example, last year around Christmas, I had a game against my friend JD. We played Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition, I think. And I played Imperium against Chaos. Not quite sure how it went. I'm fairly certain that the Imperium won. I think my Steam tank hauled major ass that game. Yeah, I think so. And of course, finally making use of the proper Imperial tactics of detachments and main regiments and stuff. Because that's really where the Imperium shines. Okay. I think the gray on his shirt needs a second coat. If not, even a darker color. So maybe I need some acrylic black. RTRT asks Empire? Yes. So around Christmas I had a game with a friend where we played Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition, which is roughly the edition when we started, getting to know Warhammer. And we played Empire, so the Empire of Man under the guidance of Karl Franz, against the forces of Chaos. I think a warband mixed, from, I think it was Slanesh and Nurgle. Yeah. And I sent them back to their hells. To the hells where they came from. I've probably taken a smaller brush. So what I'm now doing is basically doing what you could consider a heavy wash if you water down acrylic paint to a certain level where it is, like where it still covers an area, but doesn't smother it. Then the previous paint, as you can see here, for example, will still shine through. And yeah, I am getting a call right now. From who could that possibly be? I'm terribly sorry, guys. I need to have a look. From Spain. Yeah, I think that's a that would have been a scam, right? And a private number. What? You gotta check that out for a second. Hang on. Hello. Yeah. It's PayPal, of course. Anyways, where were we? As I am battling scams and stuff. Oh yeah. Again, it's what you could consider a heavy wash. I think this oftentimes leads to some nice results. Especially if you just want to darken down some colors. You can use a very similar tactic on like a canvas as well, when you're painting with oil or even acrylics. Though of course it's a little bit more difficult because you don't have 3D modeling. You need to figure out how the light shines there yourself. Okay, and speaking about 3D, the muscles are finally dry on his arm. Oh, there he is, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Hammerträger Heinrich. You may know him as the AdMech guy from my videos. How's it going, man? Have you edited more? Have you been a good boy? Sorry, that was weird. Have you finally come to editing more for the channel? Just finished converting my AOS orcs onto square bases, and it was cancer. I definitely do believe that. Square bases for old world or square bases for fantasy? Yeah. So now I'm going to mix the two colors Buckman's Glow and Cadian Flesh Tone to get a little bit of a gradient to start with the highlighting. But I think, because I think that jumping from Buckman's Glow to Cadian Flesh Tone straight away is a bit much. Fantasy? AOS models are not meant for that size? Right. Oh, hang on. You're talking about your... Hang on, Age of Sigma orcs. So the Iron Jaws that you had? Because I don't think you'd convert the Cruel Boys, right? I think in a rank and file unit, every second row will have to be just a unit filler. Yeah, fair enough. Unit filler, like the concept of that is so cool. Cruel Boys. Really? The Cruel Boys? Really? For what? Like for regular orcs? How would they fit in fantasy? Anyways. I also have an orc here. Right there. Right there. That's where they fucking belong. In the dirt. In the dirt under humanity's foot. Waku says, building my first 40k set while watching you. Oh, thanks, man. What an honor. What are you building? What army are you building? That's so cool. Did you get yourself a combat patrol, or did you start with the starter set? That's so cool, man. Happy building. If you want to have a, you know, a word of advice from me, don't get yourself involved with Finecast just yet. So these miniatures like Sly Marbo, usually those are like heroes and stuff, older models. Don't get yourself involved with that if this is your first set. Because it is just not cool. All right. But yeah, which set are you building? What army? It is for 40k. Very cool. And Theinrich is converting his Cruel Boys to fantasy. How the heck would that work? Again, with the highlights we need to be careful to not smother the gradient we're trying to achieve. Basically get smaller and smaller with our paint droplets, so that the previous paint coat still shines through. I'm also being like very watered down with the paint to help with a little bit, you know, of translucency. As skin itself is also a little bit translucent. Okie dokes. Ain't that fun? Bagu said, I grabbed the 40k starter set, Space Marines and Tyranids. I'm hooked now, going back to the shop in a few days for some Sigma bits. Plan to start painting in a few hours. Great! That's amazing, dude. That's so cool to hear. So, I don't want to... I don't want to cost GW another customer, but if you have the chance, maybe consider going to like a third-party reseller, because I know Games Workshop's prices and shops like, for example, Kutami are usually like 10 to 20% cheaper selling the same exact miniatures. So, you know, just again, I don't want to, you know, get you to be a meta gamer right away. That Heinrich sent me something. Oh, okay. Hang on. Let's have a little look-see. Oh, hang on. Ah! Ah! All this stuff downloads. I just want to show Theinrich's army. Okay, bingo. There we go. That's what this man is up to right now. Oh, wow, okay, so you painted your statue as well. Nice. That's fun. Okay. Nice cactus over there. Nice. Is that a Mountain King poster on your wall? Holy shit. Great choice in media, dude. Let's go. That's a true fan right there. Alright. The painting stream. Oh, whoops. Oh wow, great advice, thanks. Oh right, okay. Yeah, again, like Games Workshop's prices have just been getting out of hand. So every time somebody says, oh, I've just, you know, started to look into the hobby, I immediately refer them back to Kutami. Just try to save yourself some money. Pigs are horribly blurry for some reason. Ah, it's fine. But yeah, the Black Orc boss is casually twice as big as the average Old World Orc. Okay then. I mean, it would make for a great character model then, wouldn't it? The contrast on the black armor is very nice. Oh yeah, I didn't actually... Where is it? Oh, hell yeah! Great job on your work. Hang on. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's some nice edge highlighting you did there, dude. Oh yeah. Damn, let's go. Nice. What's that? Okay. Yeah. Sweet. The statue itself is also very nicely done. Holy shit. That looks cool. Cool as heck. What's up? I'm about to paint a ton of Necromunda myself. Ho, 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 okay. Nice. Necromunda models are also very cool. Haven't looked into that for so long. I'm more of a kill team guy myself right now. But, yeah, everything's coming together. Yeah, good job, Heinrich, definitely. So, Rowan the Wanderer is painting some Necromunda. A game of single character stories. What about you, Wagyu? Any plans for your paint job? Any plans for like a certain faction or something? Oh yeah, and we are not quite done with the shit. Paint dried in. Right up. I need some more of this intermediary blend of colors. Hang on. I'll mix it up right now. Just for his face, so we don't need much. Alright. We are painting, for everybody joining the stream, we are painting Sly Marbo, a character of Legends. A character that, in universe, I'm fairly certain is like a comic book, you know, character. to, you know, I guess arouse morale and inspire people to join up the military. A little bit more of a propagandistic nature. But for his tabletop players, he's actually a playable model. So yeah, definitely. Let's see what's up there. Necromunda has some great miniatures. I'm painting some corpse grinder cult at the moment. What the heck is a corpse grinder cult? Well, let's do it like this. So you guys can still have a look at the miniature. Oh wow, okay, now we're getting crazy in the chat. So first up, looking at the corpse grinder cult. Corpse grinder cult. Oh, bingo! There we go. So these guys, they're being like like the ultimate corn cultist. It's a very nice choice. Shouldn't Sly Marbo be black because of Catagen, or am I getting things mixed up? You're getting things mixed up. There was like one Catagen Sergeant a few years ago that came out as like miniature of the month, I guess. And I guess that guy was black. Rowan the Wanderer said, I haven't ever played the game. I love building the terrain in miniatures. I saw it played in the 90s and always wanted to get into it, so I have just been collecting stuff for like 5 years. Guys, like that corpse search before it's corpse search? Yeah. Actually, like the mentality of like, okay, it looks cool, but I've never played it. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Again, I can't really get around to playing that much, you know, 40k kill team or whatever. I do want to get more into kill team though, because those games are a lot quicker and a lot easier to transport than like an entire 2,500 point army for either fantasy or 40k. So yeah. I have seen some black and gold Space Marines. It was very nice. I also like this stained metal look. Alright. Maybe the lore blue with damage? It's yet to be decided. Oh yeah, sure, man. I mean, the starter set has some very nice Marines. I'm pretty sure all the miniatures are easy to build as well. So you should be able to get into the painting quite quickly. Yeah, there's some cool stuff that you can do. Also got my Space Marines still in the box next to me, still unassembled. There's just so much to do. So yeah, guys, please keep subscribing, please keep following. If I can do this as a full-time job, I promise I'll get out a video every week or quicker. Necromunda is kill team, but with more RPG elements baked in. Ooh. That sounds dope then. Definitely have to check that out. I would love to check out, I think it's Necromunda Hive Secundus. I watched the lore video from Lewitton. Also a great way to get into the hobby, to, you know, addressing Wagyu. This is a Warhammer 40k, mainly 40k lore channel on YouTube. And great to listen to while painting and building stuff. And I think this gradient is still way too light. We need to be very careful. Only really pick out the most highlighted parts of his skin. Don't want to overdo it. I tend to overdo it. Maybe we should have watered this down more. I haven't played Warhammer since 5th ed, 40k, just paint now. Or maybe 6th ed. Yeah. I mean, I guess this seems to be the pipeline, right? You start to collect an army, you start to build your army, try to, you know, build up forces to play. Then the miniature releases are quicker, then you're able to get them. And you wanna just, you know, have cool miniatures. And then some way or another you stop playing and only keep painting. Kinda funny how that works out. Alright. And Rowan the Wanderer says, you run a gang that upgrades as you run campaigns. They all level and get skills, but you only run like 10 to 15 models. It's Warhammer lore, but you are just gangs living in the hive cities. That sounds cool, dude. That's exactly how I imagined it. And you need to check that out more. Maybe Hive Secundus will be my calling, but to be very, like, straight up here, I've got so much stuff to do. For now, I'm more into kill team. And I guess a lot of the kill team terrain. Like, I am thinking about getting me the Hive Secundus kill team Necromunda set as kill team terrain. And of course, that terrain can then in turn be used for Necromunda as well. Maybe that's the way to get into there. I think not quite happy with this skin. Painting's more enjoyable than the game, so it all works out. I mean, yeah, to each their own, right? Do want to get into the gaming stage, I just don't have the time. It also would be easy to use the kill team models, you can make custom gangs. Ooh, true! And I think you can get most of the rules online. Excellent. You need to check that out more. I think I need to water the Cadian flesh tone down more. And then maybe just get in with a smaller brush. Hang on. I'll take a bit more Bugman's Glow. Bring a bit more darkness into there. But yeah, Kill Team and Necromunda are probably where it's at for me. Because I don't have the time for a 40k game. Like, the average game takes like, what, 6 hours? Like 5 if you know all the rules? And trust me, you never know all the rules, especially if you only play like once a year. So, yeah. Don't have space for it either. Single flat that I share with my girlfriend. So, tough luck there as well. But I do enjoy painting so much. Have you tried Army Painter speed paints? No. I was always interested in trying them out. I think Theinrich already also got me a box of Army Painter speed paints, like a starter set. Don't know if that's Army Painter though. I do definitely want to check out their dip wash that they put out. Is the music going too crazy, by the way? Ah, it's okay. He would never use anything else. They're absolutely the best paints, period. Oh, hang on. Yeah, hang on. You remind... As you say that, yes, I did try one paint. I did try the Hoplite Gold from Speed Paint Army Painter. And holy shit, it's the best gold I've ever used. Like, Citadel's gold is nothing against this. So yeah, you're definitely right there. Like, in my opinion, even Game Color Gold, which I also have, is better than Games Workshop's gold. Yeah. Wagyu, if you want to have like golden marines, maybe consider getting yourself some Army Painter gold pots. They're not as convenient to use as Games Workshop's pots, but trust me, they are just much better paints. That being said, Liberator Gold, and I think Retributor Armor as well, should be very good gold colors as well. Great. Dude, go on there and get a couple. It will blow your mind. I painted a Nurgle army in 2 days. It's so smooth and you just keep layering. Damn. Also, big shoutouts to AK Terrain for selling their basing material in fucking massive tubs. Hey, yeah. We're doing shoutouts now? Make your own videos to make your own shoutouts, dude! Just addressing Theinrich. But no, seriously, AK is good. AK is very cool. What I did, I just went to I have a tub of sand, right? And how I got that was, I went out at night, like in the dark, shrouded in shadows, to the local playground at like 3 in the morning, and just like grabbed sand from the sandbox over there because I didn't want to like pay for it. And that's how I based my Camry army. with playground sand. And I was like, okay, this is kind of awkward to do this like during the daytime. So I'd rather do it when no one can see me. They released Space Marine for Necromunda, Wand of the Fallen. He must be a real monster in the game. Oh yeah, I saw that one. He looks so cool. Is he a Space Marine though? I'm not quite sure. He looked like a Space Marine, but also like not quite. Maybe because of the Necromunda aesthetic. Not actually quite sure if he actually is a Space Marine. I look at GW, Valhalla and Snow or Steel and Mud. It's like this would be enough for like 4 miniatures. And maybe speak for yourself, dude. I've got this bottle of Steel and Mud. It's like, yeah, it's quite a lot still in there. And I still have the grass and the sand that I bought in 2015. So, and all of my high elves got based with that one as well. It's like doing your first layers and shading in one shot, super time saving. Damn, okay. Maybe I should like cover them properly then. Maybe that you know what? Ain't that a great reason to get the new Saturnine box set to try out the paints and have like, you know, basically 2 proper armies to paint and test this theory? Thank you, Rowan the Wanderer. You just gave me a great excuse to get that box. Much appreciated. I'm sure my girlfriend will be stoked to hear that. She's actually very supportive. Want to see something cool? She got me for my birthday. She got me the Krieg artillery set. So yeah, can't wait to build and paint that. Because of all of my miniatures, she likes the bigger and more, you know, diorama models the most. And that's why she got me the Krieg artillery. So cool, so lucky. And for Christmas, she got me Lionel Johnson. Haha. Another miniature project coming up very soon. Wanna paint him as Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones. Game of Workshops. Oh, that's a great title for a video. Jot that down. I hope you baked that sand in the on the oven. Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. Probably should do that. I crushed it up with a mortar and pistil to get it to the proper consistency. Didn't think I'd be picky about sand, but here we are. Yeah, the blends are much smoother now than they were earlier ago. It's also a bit less obvious, which I don't know if I'm that big of a fan of. Should I try and give him like some like morning shadow, like 3 o'clock shadow? The kind of beard stubble that you get when you shave regularly, but not like a 3-day beard. Or should we have him clean shaven? I also don't know if I should really give him like maybe gray hair or something. Because again, the aging warmonger aesthetic would surely go hard with this one. Vandalf has a blood drop and the numerals IX, so 9, painted on his knife's scabbard. Heavy metal hint at Blood Angel's origin, perhaps. That would be so cool. A rogue Blood Angel? Are you kidding me? How much does Vandalf cost? Okay, but seriously, I need to stop. We just stop with collecting minutes and more painting them. But yeah, Vandalf sounds cool. Watch him be Alpha Legion, not rogue at all. The classic Games Workshop blunder. Alright, we've got a bot on Twitch. So sad. Salt and pepper hair would be a good look. Salt and pepper hair? Oh, you mean the grey and like white? Maybe. Yeah, that's probably right. So not like completely gray, but I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right. It's kind of hard to see exactly what I'm doing here because the contrast from the lamp, so the shade that the lamp is throwing, it's kind of crazy. Oh, whoops, sorry. How much time do we have left? Ooh, not that long actually. 1.5 hours before my girlfriend comes back. Roughly. So what do we want to do? What do we want to do? What did I use again? Vulcan green for the trousers? I think we need to give that a second coat. Is it... Did I use Vulcan green? No. No, I did. Hang on. I think I did. But as this will be camo, it won't really matter, I guess. Alpha Legion being behind some of the chaos on Necromunda would be cool. I don't know, dude. I think a rogue Blood Angel would go so much harder. Because the Alpha Legion is like... I don't know, I just don't get the Alpha Legion, to be honest. Theinric is a big Alpha Legion enjoyer, apparently. An Alpha Legion connoisseur. So I wouldn't put it past him to be found that cool. Personally, I'd rather have the, like... I feel like a rogue Blood Angel would lead to so much more intrigue. And interest. Because the Alpha Legion being up to some shenanigans is like... You know, salted chicken. It's good, but it's also kind of plain. This is the box where he came in. And this is how he is supposed to look. Not quite there. Definitely do need to get brighter then. And the rest of his stuff is actually just plain leather, which is fine by me. Heinrich says, I just like their color scheme. And their army treat and gameplay was good. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, the color scheme of the Alpha Legion is definitely one of the more unique color schemes. Or one of the more advanced, I'd guess. I'd wager. I need some dryad bark for the leather. I'm just putting down a little bit more, few more base colors before I return back to the skin. Hopefully you guys can see everything rather alright. Yeah, this Finecast model was kinda like very interesting to build. I'd rarely have had to like, it's basically not like unheard of Games Workshop miniatures like from like plastic having support sprues still on like their own parts. For example, there was a support sprue. What was a good example? I think yeah. So down here on his trousers you can see a little bit of the stump left. There was a very small support sprue as part of the miniature, holding up, I guess, the leg, like these two legs, stabilizing them. So, you know, that doesn't happen with plastic miniatures from Games Workshop. So Finecast really feels like just a different manufacturer. And maybe it is. I actually don't know. Yeah, Sly Marbo. If we have time, I would love to have a look at his stats on stream, because I actually don't know. I just found the model cool. Would, you know, would like to have him in the army composition. I'm not playing Catagen, by the way. I'm just a plain old Cadian player, and I have one detachment that of Kriegers. which I plan to turn into wardens from the game Foxhole. A little bit of a community project. Diner says, is he wearing a hat or is that just his hair? It's his hair. And it's fabulous. So he's wearing a little bit of a bandana. And yeah. This man's hair alone has enough testosterone to rip a tree in half, I don't know. Rip a tyrannid in half, that's more like it. I also love that he has a clock on his wrist. So Sly Marbo, of course, is just Games Workshop's version of Rambo. I mean, all of the Catachans really are, but I think Sly Marbo is the most blatant. Because, you know, what do you get when you put the R and M around? Get Rambo. Astute observation, I know. I'm just that clever. So what is this stuff down here? Where's this? So I think that's just a grenade and an extra magazine. Alright. Bound with the leather. Bingo. This weapon is also very interesting. It's not a bolter. I think this is what Games Workshop would call a stubber. So a regular projectile weapon. Maybe even a heavy stubber. But let's have a look in the stats later. So around his leg right here, a small leather band. Stuff like this is really annoying if you've ever worn it in real life. Which I have, and it is, again, annoying. And Sly is Sylvester Stallone's nickname. Oh, bingo, there we go. Alright, didn't know that. Thanks for the info. But yeah, that's cool. Oh shit, look at this. I did a big no-no. I didn't paint all of his leg. Beginner's mistake. You know, back in the day, I used to paint absolutely everything on a miniature. So even stuff that you wouldn't see, for example, the back of a Space Marine that would be covered by a power pack. I don't do that anymore because I think it's just like I can't bring myself to it anymore. I can't justify it. With some stuff, I think it's still okay. And, you know, rough paint jobs are always good. But for example, I wouldn't like edge highlight these places anymore. His grenades have what color? Are they just metal? They're gray. Okay, fair enough. Because I think with the green that would be a bit too much. He's also wearing a belt next to the strap across his chest. I hope you guys like the thumbnail, by the way. Trying to get a little bit more experimental with the thumbnails. Not the same bread and butter stuff as always. Yeah. But again, after Sly Marbo is done, I think I'll go and paint. It's a question. I think Lionel Johnson is the answer, or Tubin L. Johnson. And then after that, I'm honestly open for everything. I think some Stormcast are in order. Been so long. He's wearing grey boots. I don't have that dark grey, but I think this will be a great opportunity to show off what I mean with what I did with the heavy shading on his shirt as well. So we'll just start with a okay, that's the right color. We'll just start with a simple grey Base coat on his boots. By the way, Heinrich, what is your next miniature project? Because your Tyranids are very close to be done. And after that, I'm rather you know, I know that you have another set of those Tyranids, so another Leviathan Tyranid pack. Are you really gonna paint that right after this one? Because those 40 Termagants sure are a lot of fun to paint. Always fun to paint the same model 40 times in a row. Especially when you do like batch painting. If you do batch painting, especially with like large hordes, in my mind, like don't do, for example, if you have a horde of 40, don't paint all 40 at the same time. Just paint them in batches of 5 or 10. Because otherwise you'll go insane. And if you do that twice, you'll burn yourself out of the hobby. I see so many, you know, armies on eBay where people sell insane amounts of miniatures for a very cheap price. And only like 5 or 10 are like close to being painted because they realized, oh, hang on, this is way too much effort, or way too much time sink. Breaks my heart a little bit every time. And then I place a bet and get it for very cheap. But yeah. It feels so good to be finally back. It's so right to be back painting miniatures. Another thing that I should probably get behind is Bretonia for the old world. Because I do have a huge Bretonian army that a friend of mine gave me. And he gave it to me a year ago. And you wanna know what I've painted in this year? This thing. This is the project after 1 year. This is all I got. So yeah, need to finally get a move on with that. One box at a time, best way? Oh, definitely, yeah. But again, if the one box we're talking about is like Leviathan or Saturnine or something, that's too much. Yeah. Ooh. I find it interesting how many people nowadays casually know Warhammer, you know? Like, it really is getting more mainstream. And I think I enjoy that, as long as Disney doesn't buy it up. But I think with, you know, the Warhammer property, kind of hard to put that on the same website as the other stuff, in my opinion. So I think we are safe on that front. As long as GW doesn't screw up. But what I found interesting, for example, last week, I was at the gym, you know, working out, praying at the Iron Temple. And when I checked out the guy working the desks there, we got into talking, and he asked me what I do for a living, and I was like, oh yeah, currently I'm subsidizing myself with painting commissions for Warhammer. And he was like, Warhammer, what's that? So we started to get to talk about the hobby. And one random guy just showed up and he was like, Warhammer? I've heard that before. And, you know, that guy, you have to imagine like a 40-year-old, quite muscular guy. And he told me that he found the hobby like a few years ago. And when I say a few, I mean 1985. And he said back then he got himself a box set for Christmas. And he still has it to this day. And that was like in 1985. That's like right around the time when Games Workshop, you know, when Warhammer was launched for the first time. I think Rogue Trader is like, what, 1984 or 1982? Something like that? So I was like, god damn, okay. What box set did you get? So does it already have like the... is it already called Warhammer or is it called Rogue Trader still? But he says no, it's still Warhammer and it is plastic miniatures. I was like, god damn, alright. And so, you he doesn't know the name, but he still has got the box, and it is in very good condition. He still has it in, like, his room, I guess. His house. Nicely preserved. And I told him, whatever you do, man, don't sell it. I'm pretty sure you can get way more for that than you might imagine. Because if he actually has what he claims he has, that could be an insane box set, right? So what he will do is he'll make a photo of that box set and bring it to our friend at the counter. And he will show me that photo, and then I can see what kind of box set he has. Insane. Like, random occurrence. I didn't know the guy. He didn't know like, we all didn't know each other. And I'm really interested to see what kind of box set this man has from 1985. I could probably Google it if I want to spoil the surprise, but just want to find out a little bit more organically. Yeah, so that's the stuff is still wet. So now I'll take a very fine brush and come back to the skin. This time only water. No, that's Kislev flesh. That's too bright. This time only watering the paint down, not even like mixing it with anything. And when I say very fine brush, I think we'll actually go with this one. The tip rather small. Nothing too crazy. I don't want to like overdo it. Maybe I'll get out my psycho brush when we get to his face. For now, this will be enough. Get a bit of paint on my palette, and when I say palette, I mean a piece of cardboard that I've found in the bin right before the stream. Get a bit of paint, just a bit. And then we'll turn to the skin once more. Maybe like this, so you guys can actually see what's going on. Again, mainly focusing on the very nicely highlighted areas. Alright. Ah. But yeah, what else? The time of my study slowly but surely comes to an end. I still have 1 year left at the art academy where I currently train at. Roughly 1 year, or like 1.5, but you know, that not that much longer. And so I do need to prepare for my diploma. At least I do want to prepare for my diploma right now, because I am a very ambitious guy and would like to do something great. Like something grand, sorry. So now I've been, you know, writing, planning, getting together with professors. Gotten a few people on my side who will help and guide me through the process. And if everything works out well, I'll be able to, might be able to make a living with this stuff I'm doing. That depends, of course, on the quality that I deliver, but I think I do have an extra chance. Hello, it's the Inquisitor. Hey, man. How are you doing? What is your current miniature project? Or Warhammer project in general? Thanks again for the amazing comment that you left. I have read it multiple times already. Just, you know, haven't gotten to write an answer. Just, you know, kind of familiar, I guess. Whoops. But I do kind of see what you mean when you started the comment off saying that it feels kind of sanitized. You know? I'd say, you know, my counterpoint to that, I guess, would be to say, alright, they are all in armor in the trailer. I don't know exactly how much gore you could put in there. So I think Space Marine, the Astartes short did show a bit of that, so I don't know. It didn't bother me that much, especially considering that they had to, you know, have a version that they could release on YouTube safely. But yeah, I do, you know, I get what you mean. Can you say that? Also the Malkador thing with his, you know, design, maybe covering his eyes would have been a good choice. Actually, am quite with you there. I think they could have presented him a bit more mysterious. I did like that he had an appearance though. Almost dry brushing his face now. Just roughly going over the skin. Alright, I'm not sure if I do want to do more at this point. Kind of hard to see with the lamp. The contrast on my side is rather heavy. So I think we'll just move on to other parts, like his hair? His hair. So we said salt and pepper, starting with a dark grey then. I'll pick out the bandana separately after the hair is done, because I think everything else would be too much fiddle work. And yeah. But yeah, Inquisitor, how are you doing, man? Glad to see that you're still around. After all these months of silence, I did honestly expect people to just leave the channel, which, you know, would definitely be fair enough. Especially, you know, not me uploading quality content, but streaming, talking about stuff, and the reaction. I always feel so guilty when I upload a reaction. But this time I actually know that I have 5 videos ready to go, more or less. So I do want to commit, you know, 10,000 subs by the end of the year. We are at 3,600, I think. Yeah. Inquisitor says, I would point to Death of Hope, for example, where they slice off heads and limbs and bullets punch through the armor. I don't mind that much, just wary of 40k getting into mainstream in taste. Yes. No, definitely. I think you are definitely right to be wary. I do kind of get why they do it. I think definitely the first Horus Heresy trailer was... hang on, I need... word bearer thread. I think the first Horus Heresy trailer didn't hold back that much. But the second one, especially with the, I think Eradicators they're called, or Disintegrators or something, you know, definitely is an easy way of killing off people without too much gore. I wonder if that had play in that decision to introduce these weapons. But, I don't know. For now, you know, I am still wary. I think you're right to be wary as well. But I'm not that scared, I think is the right word. For it to become too mainstreamy. Yeah. The skin just gets rather metal. I think I'll paint the entire gun in metal at first as well. Or maybe a dark gray. What's it on the reference? Metal and dark gray. Okay. Should we do... I do want to give him a little bit... Nah, let's just do it metal. So he basically has an Uzi. A Uzi? An Uzi? How do you pronounce it in English? And like with a, I guess a silencer, or at least a muzzle brake. And a scope. I don't know why he would possibly need a scope on there. But hey. To each their own. But no, for real, why does he have a scope on there? He doesn't even have a, like, brace thingy on there. Acron weapons are clean on that, as long as it isn't the microscopic fiber-based weapons. They're nasty as hell. Plasma weapons aren't clean as that. They're more plasma sledgehammers. Yeah. I think it's kind of... I don't know. What I found also interesting is that of all the miniatures, especially the character, miniatures like the Iron Warriors Praetor, I think, I would have really liked to see the Salamander Praetor in, Saturnine Terminator armor in action. Considering how insanely cool that guy looks. But I do get why they didn't animate him, because he does have a lot of stuff on him. Scope adds a multiplier to badassery. You know what? You are exactly right. That is... Yeah. Just for the looks? Hell yeah. Regarding my well-being, still technically homeless. Exams in around 6 months. Damn, man. I actually feared to hear that, but alright. Sorry to hear that, man. Six weeks, alright. Damn, that as well. I was like, okay, right, a few months, that's not too bad, but yeah, 6 weeks. Oh yeah, hang on, because summer break, yeah, of course. All I can say with that is like, good luck, dude. I wish you all the best with that. That's tough. That's really tough. So, all of these metallic parts, again, kind of hard to see what we're doing. Especially, I guess, for you guys. Probably, oh no, rather alright in focus. Whoops. We need a little bit more brown over there. And then, so his boot. Can we do that already? Yeah, I think we can. His boot has some metallic bracers on it as well. So like a few strips of metal. Did I cut this off badly? I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to look like that. And of course on his, like, shin as well? Yeah. Sorry. Alright. I've decided to, keep these streams a little bit shorter but stream more often. The reason for that is mainly because I don't have the time to stream longer. And, I think 2 to 3 hours is still an alright time. Especially considering that we're painting and not like playing a game. With like Total War or so, I would have no problem streaming for like 6 hours. But again, it's just so much time. I need to do so much stuff at the same time, preparing my diploma, trying to get a book out. More on that in the next video, on the 6th. So next week on Friday, there'll be a new video out. Another great thing in the trailer is how they showed the Iron Warriors laying on the ground. Most Legions wasn't there to get the Angel armor dirty, but the Iron Warriors just want to win. Exactly. And of course, the tactical advantage of luring their enemy into what seems like a great, just a lone praetor. But yeah. Just war crime things. Yeah, very scummy tactic, but very cool, very effective, and great. Definitely fits the Iron Warriors vibe. Should have picked a smaller brush. We need to get the brown out anyways. Just slobber it on there. We'll do all of the finesse later. What else does need some metal? I think this one? Why not? Somebody stop me. I declare these clips to be metal. Are they though? Yes, they are. Okay. The backside of the sword as well. The only thing that I don't really like about how they introduced the Saturnine Terminator pattern armor is that apparently it doesn't have all the cool stuff that it is supposed to have. Mainly speaking about the shielding here. Because I think for the longest time, you know, the Saturnine armor was supposed to have these huge shoulders to house advanced shield generators in there. And the newer, like as they were portrayed in the trailer, they don't seem to have that. Yeah. That's like one thing that I noticed in the trailer that I don't like that much. Because I'm pretty sure Saturnine Terminator armor is supposed to be like the best of the best. And you would think the best of the best would have shielding inside. Terminators were underwhelming. It's probably due to balancing, but still. I don't know, dude. Just make a Saturnine Terminator like 100 points or something. That will be balancing as well. Or give him like have them have a shield in the trailer and only give them more toughness in the game or something. Like something like that. We might get into an area where everything is like supposed to be like, oh, balanced and stuff like that. But in the Bricky video, it said like, if everything is ridiculous, then everything is kind of balanced. So why not make everything overpowered? You know, elitist Warhammer consumer who doesn't play the game. Right here with his expert analysis. The clip on his grenade, silver as well. Alright. And now we need some red in there. But first, we'll take some dark brown to patch up the bald spot on his belt. And then we'll get some red in there to finally get some color going. And after that, we'll do some camo patterns on his trousers. Actually, forget that. We need to take care of his hair first. Because I can't paint the bandana before I've painted his hair. Is it part of his belt down here? I think so. Balance in Warhammer? Yeah. Yeah, right. You know what? I understand every way of playing the hobby or enjoying the hobby. You know, people who just want to enjoy the lore, just want to enjoy the painting, just want to enjoy the building. You know, everything. Every single aspect. You can have every combination of that as you like, right? But the one aspect I don't understand is people trying to meta game Warhammer, right? Like people going out of their way to buy another army. For example, when the squads came out, right? People bought the squads solely for their overpowered armament, and when they were sold out, they got mad at Games Workshop for nerfing them right away. I think it was rather scummy of Games Workshop to do that as well, so I can understand the outrage, but I don't understand why people would get miniatures solely because they are good, especially starting an entirely new faction. Or getting rid of a faction because they are not good anymore. As it happened to the Space Wolves a few years ago. I don't know, dude. That's like weird to me. That's the one aspect of the hobby I can't understand. But again, I also don't play as much. I'll take Administratum Grey, because the name itself is already kinda fitting. And some acrylic black to firstly do some heavy shading. So again, what we'll do is take some black, water it down to a consistency where it still lays atop the part, and now watch this. The black sinks into the crevices and lays atop the first layer, but after a short while, the previous layer will still shine through to a good degree. This way you can have like darker colors, very dark armor. That's something I'll do on the gun as well, and there you will see it even better. Sometimes you have to, patch up some spots where the paint doesn't want to stick. And this is way quicker than doing it with, for example, Nuln oil or something like that. Especially in the new recipe that doesn't stain as much anymore. At least to try on it, I personally think balancing the tabletop against the lore is for yeah. With those kind of metagamers, I don't get why even bother with the miniatures, just use tokens at that point. Yeah, right? I kinda love it sometimes when people show what insane deployments their enemies, their opponents put on the table. Like like impulsors and atop a building, because technically they do have the flying keyword and can do that. Looks so silly. Or the one guy who broke an entire Warhammer tournament by having all of his I think it was Space Wolves in Deep Strike, more or less. And then the only way he got beaten is because his opponent could deploy anywhere on the field and denied his entrance. And that way he couldn't possibly deploy on the field and lost by default. Like, stuff like that is like kinda funny, right? But at the same time, dude, just don't overdo it. Becky says, I'm back, I had to get some fresh air, finished building, time to base paint 12 models. Alright. Hell yeah, good luck with that, dude. By the way, there is an email address and an Instagram account in the description of my YouTube channel. So if you want me to have a look at your miniatures, or just, want me to share them on stream, feel free to take a photo and mail it to me. I'm happy to do that. It's also not the first time somebody did that. Always very happy to receive your mails. And show what you've done. Discuss it on stream. It's always very fun. Oh. Maybe we should do a finer brush around here. Nah. Yeah, basically do a shade. And then we'll do a very light dry brush of this area. With highlights of Administratum Grey. See? Bingo. Okay. And yeah, getting some fresh air, especially after building, is the right choice. Don't want to intoxicate yourself from the fumes of the glue. My parents were always very sensitive about that. They were like, you're sleeping in the same room where you are painting. Isn't that, that's too bad for your health? And I was like, no, it's not. It's all acrylic, acrylic paints, they're all water-based. There are no fumes in the air, no. And then I really made sure to properly air out my room after building, because holy shit, that glue lingers in the air. This magazine as well, of course. The grenade, not so much. And see, this way you can see it properly. So the black is only found its way to the recesses and the metal still shines through. So like the proper cool stuff. Silver Tortoise says, we got Rambo at home. IGW, hell yeah. I mean, his name is like literally Marbo, So Rambo, but just like a little bit rearranged. The same way Tom Riddle apparently makes Lord Voldemort, which I still find is very cute. And as the chat told me, Sly is like the nickname for Sylvester Stallone. You know, coincidence? I think not. Somebody is a copyright lawyer and wants to look into that? Oh yeah. I love shenanigans in classical music like this one. The 10th edition says on the very first pages of the rules segment that it's supposed to be fun for everyone, and changing the rules is preferably than having non-stop arguments. I think it's better if people just agree on it and not follow GW rules like they are absolute. I prefer law-accurate rules and balanced rules for the pick. Yeah, sure. Of course, as we have found out a few years ago, the rule writers are apparently a little bit underpaid, so making 2 separate sets of rules might not be on the books. But yeah, we do also play with like some home rules as well. Can't think of a single one now though. Oh yeah, one rule for fantasy is that nobody picks the scroll of banishment. I think it's called in English, not quite sure. Which is a magic item that automatically, you know, blocks a spell. In fantasy, and we just said, okay, you know what, that's so lame, it's always annoying, you basically have to pick it, both sides are always picking it, it's like 25 points or something, so we were like, okay, you know what, as a gentleman's agreement, we won't take this goddamn scroll with us, neither will it, and that way we can keep having fun, and just don't have to take this annoying piece of paper with us. Silver Tortoise says, no, this is completely intentional. It's GW just like Disney, ain't no one beating GW's lawyer teams. No, definitely. I get that. 100%. It's just kind of funny, right? You want to have a look at... Oh, I'm spending too much time work... Oh! No, where did that comment go? RT, please comment again. Sometimes the comment section on Twitch glitches and I can only see it for the short amount of time that it shows up on screen. No. Please. Share this comment with me again. I couldn't read it. I'm spending too much time working out highlights on this. I don't know. Can't read the fine print, no. Silver Tortoise says, yeah, their legal teams are the best in the world. Yeah, I guess so. I'm spending too much time working out the highlights on this cultist's ass. Comments take 2. Bingo. Thank you, man. Oh, possibly that's why maybe it was blocked because of ass? I don't know. I don't have any moderation on. I'm spending too much time working out the highlights on this cultist's ass. Hell yeah, Slaanesh would be proud of you. It's only stealing when it's not us taking it from others? Yeah. I mean, Disney did the same with this one guy's art, right? Yep. I did watch Janovich's video on the lawsuit situation Games Workshop's got going on, where they basically make a collect lawsuit against anything that has Warhammer in it. So I don't know if they're really the best or if they are just sloppy and or lazy and are just getting away with it. I'd recommend watching that video if you want to get more information on that. I don't want to just regurgitate it, but basically what happened was if you were, for example, if you were a smith and you forged a Warhammer and sold it online, there's a good chance Games Workshop put you on their list for possible lawsuit. And the only way, like, they don't tell you about it, but if you don't basically are against it, yes, nice dry brushing. Hell yeah. Just want to keep it rough and dirty. I mean, it's hair after all. Bingo. we've got our graying warmonger aesthetic. Hell yeah. Sorry. Danovish, he's the greatest 40k YouTuber for lore. Oh, really? Really? Better than Lewitton? Nah. Why can't I, as an English speaker, get about 50-50 of German? Same with Pancreas No Work and the Crackdug. Those are names I haven't heard of before. Maybe I need to check them out as well. But yeah, I'm a Lewitton absolutist. Only watch his models videos when it comes to 40k lore. I want to talk about that too. Oh, see? Oh, in my opinion, not LMO. Okay. And to the languages, I mean, the languages are very familiar, right? English and German. Bingo! And with this applause, we will get some word bearers red and lay down the first coat of red. Finally get some color onto this miniature as we enter the last 45 minutes of the stream, more or less. More or less. I also find Dutch silly. Everybody finds Dutch silly, but it's a very charming language. I'm from Northern German, and we have a dialect and an own language called Flat German, which I guess you could argue it's a mix out of English, German, and English and German, more or less. English, German, and Dutch, I guess. And it's just so charming. I love that language, and I love Dutch as well. It's just so nice. Everything sounds nice in Dutch. I'd rather have an argument in flat German than I do in like proper German. Because it always sounds funny, right? I'd rather call somebody a deuskop than an asshole or a stupid head. And the South German is the more modern German. South German is the more modern German? I don't think so. They have also a funny dialect, but they're arrogant about it. So I don't know. Hungras Not Work, probably wrong spelling, is a quite surface lore channel with more focus on entertainment. A good channel for introducing, but not Lewitton level. I mean, fair. I mean, the Bricky videos are also probably most people's gateway into the Warhammer 40k lore. And they're also more entertainment focused than deep, right? Proper German, you sound angry, and Dutch, you just sound silly. I mean, come on. I don't want to bash. Like, it sounds like we're bashing Dutch, but I think we really don't. Like, I love the Dutch language. I would love to learn it as well, but I just don't have the time. Steinrich, based as he is, just learned Japanese next to uni and all the other stuff that he does, so I guess he's just built different. Dutch to me is like if English and German got together and had a silly old time in the Low Country. Yeah, it's fun. It's just so fun. I also love Dutch memes, but I also love Polish memes, so I don't know. I thought South German was more used as the building blocks for proper German. No! Northern German is. So, of all the German languages, there's one dialect that is called High German. And High German, just like High Elven and like fantasy, is the proper German. And that's the dialect that's spoken in the north. Like the technically the cleanest German you would find in Hamburg, for example. Oh shoot, my bad. Dude, no problem at all. I met one American once who said like, okay, the Germans are kind of like the elves in real life. We have all these different dialects, but there's like one high language that we all have to learn. Our technology is like kind of weird. We are very reserved. I found the analogy kind of endearing. But I recommend the channel, nevertheless, because some topics it goes over aren't current from curated lore channels. Ooh, okay. Pangras Not Work. I'll do the thing where I take a photo of what you guys say in chat, so I can look it up later. I have found that to be the safest bet. Not forget stuff. I'll check him out later. Always on the hunt for good lore channels. So High German like received pronunciation in British English? Oh yeah, basically. But like High German is like, how do I explain it? It's the German that you hear in like movies and stuff. So it's like the German that you learn in school. It's also very funny when people like, for example, Americans learn German in class. But they usually learn like High German because of course why would you learn anything else, right? And then they land, for example, like their plane lands in Köln, in Colonia, and they think, alright, now I can speak German with the people. But all the people in Colonia speak Kölsch, which is a Swabian dialect. And that dialect is so unintelligible that even I, as a German, don't understand it completely. So, yeah. They're always very confused when they get here. And then they go to Bavaria, which is like the German side that everybody knows. And they realize, oh no, these people speak an even different dialect. He has a 43-minute video about planets in 40k and another 45-minute video about geography. About the Empire and fantasy. Ooh, that one sounds fun. I definitely want to look into that one. That might really help me out with my diploma as well. So, alright then. I'll have a look at that. High German is very clean, while local dialects are more likely to mash words and syllables together. Alright, the two videos are great. Alright. I'll have a look then. If I ever get downtime again. Nah, but I should. Bavarian culture is America's German perception. I mean, some things are correct. Like, unifyingly German. But yeah, I do know what you mean. Bavarian culture is also very fun. Drinking, wearing nice clothes. Talking funny. North German culture is all about depressing moors and people dying at sea. So. But we do have tea. We are very civilized folk. Tea at 5 o'clock, so I'm missing my... Oh no, I'm actually not. See, bingo. I've got my tea right next to me. Alcohol, cheese and bread is amazing. Yeah. Alcohol, bread and cheese. The foundation of every civilization on Earth. Wait, you have tea time? Yes. In East Frisia, at least, we have it. I don't know about the rest of northern Germany, but like the part that's next to the Netherlands, especially, and closer to the coast, we do have tea time, and we take it very seriously. It's also like very much proper etiquette to ask someone to come in for a cup of tea. If you just want to relay a message or something, or invite somebody in, like you go to your neighbors and say, "Hey, can I invite you guys in for a party?" There's a good chance that you will have to stay for tea. For example, high game is 1, 2, 3. Dann ist es 1, 2, 3. Yay. Yeah. So Inquisitor is making a good example. So in High German you would say 1, 2, 3 as 1, 2, 3. And in Flat German it would be 1, 2, 3, I think. As an American, I'm now traumatized. You know what's very funny? My siblings, so my sister and my little brother, did partake in an exchange program to America, and my little brother went to Alabama, and we sent him, you know, as a gift, a full East Frisian tea set. So he could show them the East Frisian culture, right? So he was like, okay, and now we put in the sugar and then the tea atop of it, and you're not allowed to stir it, and you can have a drop of milk and so on. And then the Americans were like, all right, that's nice. So when do you do this? Like in holidays or something? And he was like, no, we do this every day. Where do you guys get the time? We need to make time. It's tea. They were flabbergasted that we would take that much time out of our day, because tea time usually lasts like 1 hour or something. And then he was like, yeah, usually it's like at least twice or thrice a day. Like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, basically, right? Not Alabama. Oh, Alabama was fine. My sister went to Kentucky. There are several UK dialects accents that foreigners and sometimes other Brits struggle with, like Scouse, Geordie, Doric, Glaswegian, oh yeah. And West Country, oh definitely. I went to Ireland expecting to understand people. Alright, that was a big mistake. The Irish language is as far detached from English as you could possibly hope to. Sounds very lovely as well though. For example, Merlin Park, where we stayed at, was called Parc Murline in Irish, which, you can somewhat rhyme together, but very tough. Can be tough. But yeah. Love the language. Both of them went to the south. I mean, Kentucky is more like center, is it not? Like center west. But yeah, it was completely random. I don't know how that worked out. But yeah, it was a random selection. I think one family possibly was like New York State, but that didn't work out. Don't exactly know why. I think that family changed their mind last second. I don't know. Don't know the details. But yeah. Sweet, sweet home Alabama. The Alabamans just love that when you mention that song. The German existing is a work in productivity. Most Germans watching this will do something while listening. I, for example, do the dishes and clean the restroom. I mean, that's what you should do when watching streams, right? I listen to VODs all the time when I do chores. Kentucky is south. I'm talking about culturally, not geography. Alright, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I'm fairly certain they also did all of the stuff that you'd expect a European to do, walking around, knocking on walls and saying, oh, this is like cardboard thin, what are you doing? In Germany we have walls thick enough to stop a bullet or something, Stuff like that. I don't know why I used that analogy. But yeah. But it was fun for both. I'm babysitting? Oh, really? And you decide to watch me? How come? Thank you so much. Right. I have been messing around and not doing much while talking. That has to change. We'll take some Lauren Forest and drop down the first splotches of camouflage. I'll take a very small brush for that. Oh. Okay, my Lauren Forest dried up. So I guess we have to take Castellan Green and Skarsnik Flesh, Orc Flesh, and just blend those two together to get a tone in the middle. Yeah, take this 50 cal to the dome. Hey man. 50 cal is a different beast. I don't know if you can really. If that's a fair comparison. You mean every wall of your home isn't made out of solid brick? European minds crumbled at the absurdity of it. You know what's funny? Our current chancellor said that we as Germans kinda overdo it with our walls. And should like have lower standards so we can build more. Which I think it was like an outrageous statement. I was like, what? And you still live in your like multi-million-dollar mansion? No dude, fuck off. that's enough politics. Wagyu, how's it going? Yes, it is. It's a bullet. Yeah, I know. Fair. All right. Fair enough. Rule number 1 broken. Where was Gondor? No, shut up. Shut up. That's the music, by the way. Oh. Shut up. I'm guessing YouTube stopped you in your tracks to ask where was it. No! When the fucking thing fell? What? YouTube censored you. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. What's it called? The West Fold. I've been staring at my paints for 10 minutes, looking at Google Images for reference photos when trying to work out when I need to use lol. Yeah, fair enough. Is there any speed painting guide that I could recommend? I don't know. Maybe watch a speed painting guide on YouTube? There's like a Horus Heresy one where he goes over where the person goes over all the different legions. Maybe that's something for you. We'll try to work with. With camo, it's kind of like like playing with fire, right? Because if you do it wrong, it just looks amateurish and destroys the silhouette of the model. So I definitely get why not many people do it. Our current chancellor is a bit stupid. Couldn't care less on his opinion. The walls stay the walls stay the way we're doing them since ever. Yeah. If you had a choice, should have went to the Midwest of the US. Oh, really? Where has that model's legs gone? I can't see them anymore. Good camo. Excellent. You know what my favorite pet peeve about camo is? When people put camo on stuff that couldn't possibly profit from camo. Even like a few days ago, I saw again another knight, like another Questoris knight for Warhammer 40k, having like a camo paint job. And I was just like, why? Why would you do that? How possibly would you hide that monstrosity? And it had like forest camo, you know? Not the like World War I camo that ships had. But like just forest camo. Why? What kind of forest is going to hide this thing? Imagine like, you know, observing a field and you have like the tree line and like it's all trees and then you have like whoop and then it goes back to being trees and people are like, oh yeah. Midwest of the US. So, I haven't been to the US ever. And I think my one reason to go there would be to visit the Great American State Fair, as I've heard rumors about it for its 250th birthday next year. That would be cool. I would always love to visit a cool, like, Weltausstellung kind of thing. And it would also coincide with me getting my diploma, so another reason to, you know, use my newfound freedom. Idea for the next Halloween mini. Lady or Linda entirely wearing camo? No. RTRT says, Vince Ventrella's channel is great for painting tutorials. I highly recommend him for beginner and experienced painters. Now, Vince Venturella. Alright. Most of the people there have German heritage or Scandinavian. I mean, you know, I've seen the map statistics, I guess. Ooh, I would really like to visit like an Amish village or something. Because I've heard that the Amish still speak flat German. Like some Amish like pockets do. speak flat German as their everyday language. That would be so fun to speak. And another part, I think, speaks like there's also Texan German. Really like. Look it up. It makes no sense geographically, only makes sense culturally. All right. Hello? Hello? Stay open. Stay open, don't you dare close. No, no, no. Dude. I think the camo is not too bad right now. It's only just like some weird splotches. I'll try with like some brighter ones here and there. But I will use these only very sparingly. And after that I will try to highlight them as well. And we don't want to overdo this. And it still is very like watered down. To not dry too stark. Create too stark of a contrast. Text in German. Hallo, my Freund. Loads gun. That's exactly how I imagine it to be. There's also Pennsylvania Dutch. Ooh. Hell yeah. Right, let's do this. Camo. I think the camo is alright as it is. We don't need to... Like, I think it actually works. So far we also haven't taken care of the ground. And we only have 20 minutes left! We probably won't finish this miniature in time. Because I need to, you know, clean up the flat before my girlfriend comes back, or otherwise I'm toast. And Theinrich, by the way, is everything, like, did you get my message? I sent you a message over to, you know, if we should pick you up, or not. I don't want to play bolt gun, but I have a dumb dinner thing. Well, if it's a dumb dinner thing. It was your idea, dude. Hang on a second. You got bolt gun, by the way? Damn. Didn't realize. I thought you got hired gun. Like, only hired gun. So... let's go. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it, Jan. Yeah, maybe I messed up on the leg, on the right leg. But I think the camo looks fine. I think as camo goes, I have seen worse. Pennsylvania Dutch has nothing to deal with Dutch. It's a German dialect. Oh, really? Oh. Okay, I didn't know that. Kind of fun. But yeah, Theinrich, should we pick you up? Are you ready? Currently it is the Skull event on Steam. All GW projects are on lower price. Yes, great point. For all of you guys wanting to try out a Warhammer related video game, now is the time to visit Steam and get yourself one. For example, Total War Warhammer 3, which is a, I guess a strategy game and army commanding game set in the Warhammer fantasy world. That, for example, is now half price. You get the entire game for like 24 euros. So, I'm not sponsored, but definitely do check out Steam for Warhammer related games. As long as the Skull event's on. You can find yourself some great deals on there. Good catch, Inquisitor. Didn't relay that. Okay. now we come to the base. And the base is what looks to be... Let's just do Sterling Mud. Whoa! Not throw it around. I would like to go to Austria or Bavaria. They seem like very pretty places. You know what place you should visit if you go to Bavaria? It's Rothen ob Tauber. Rothenburg ob der Tauber is an amazing place. Like pretty sure the prettiest medieval city and a classic motif of many postcards and pictures. Like, if somebody has a video talking about Germany, that is very likely to be in there. Like, that's like likely to have a picture from Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Or just had to make sure to reach Theinrich. Yeah, Rothenburg is nice. Burg Eltz is nice. Rothenburg, though, is also very classic for American tourists to visit. Maybe something else. Austria is very nice, though the people are a bit crazy. Not gonna lie. As a German, I find the Austrians a little bit crazy. For a lot of reasons. Rothenburg. Fuck you, dude. I know it's Rothenburg, but I do want to keep up my American accent. Rothenburg. Oh, like my accent in general. Not sure if it counts as American. Let's slap some Sterling mod down there. Yes. So we now are currently. Why is that? Because pretty churches? No. Rothenburg is a complete, like, intact medieval city with a wall around it and all the, like, it really looks like classic German. Just look up the place on, like, pictures or something. You'll be amazed. I actually hiked to there. So I started my hike in Weikersheim ob der Tauber. And then I hiked from city to city until I reached Rothenburg. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever done. And I documented the whole thing with a GoPro. And I haven't come to edit it yet. Because I am slow as fuck. It was a few years ago. During COVID, I think. And yeah, so definitely need to catch up on that as well. And I'm not quite sure if I should upload it here or on the second channel that I have with Heinrich. I think I'll leave that up to a poll that I put on here. Though the last poll that I did literally had 0 participation. Not a single vote was cast. Not even from my family. That was quite interesting. So that's why I want to go to Bavaria and Australia. Oh, because of the pretty churches? I mean, I'm sure it has some pretty churches as well. Pretty churches are all over Germany and Austria and Europe in general. What vote? Oh, look in my into my in my, what's it called in English? Members thingy. Definitely Brink of Art. Yeah, I think so too. Though your Japanese project will be uploaded to Trixipsane. Because I think that's, like, proper. Yeah. So if you want to see pretty churches, what's the place with, like, pretty churches? Austria definitely has a lot of them. If you go to Kärnten in Austria, that's like right above Italy, the state. Yeah. Never leave important choices to a poll. Just joking, Poland. Yeah. Sometimes I do polls and I think like it's like right when I do the poll I think like, okay, I hope it's this outcome, but because I'd really do this outcome now. Sometimes I have to rig the vote. But yeah. 21 hours ago, that's like nothing. Yeah, But usually I get like 30 votes cast in like any poll that I do, and that poll has like none after 1 hours. That's crazy. That was crazy to me. No worries though. I basically asked when the best time to stream would be, rather in the evening or rather midday. Cathedral de Notre Dame. Well, if you want to see a cathedral, then you have to visit Cologne. And I think Cologne also has like a big, like there are multiple airports, either in Cologne or nearby. So maybe when you come from America, you have to visit that city anyways, and then you can see the Cathedral of Cologne. Beautiful as well, very awe-inducing, the size of it alone. And, but yeah, pretty churches are all around. And you chose like none of the two options? Well, today was a little bit different, right? And it's usually like the poll is mostly centered around Wednesday, because I, with my new timetable, have every Wednesday off. I have every Wednesday off, but my girlfriend has to work in the morning and has her hobbies in the evening. So those are the times where I can guiltlessly stream without, you know, having the feeling of like ignoring her or don't giving her attention. So that's the reason why I wanted to ask, hey, which one of these two times is most suitable for you guys? Because I would stream both times if I could. And I also can, I just thinking about, you know, when to stream for the second channel and when to stream for the main channel. Vienna also has a very big, beautiful church in my opinion. Ooh, don't know that. The last big church that I visited was in Berlin. The Dome of Berlin. Very cool. Had a Sunday mess in there. Like a Sunday, what's it called? I think it's called mess in English. Very, very cool. That was hella impressive. Maybe we have to keep this rougher as I thought. Okay, we now have 10 minutes left, roughly, before I need to come to a close around here. And the Sturland mud is still very wet. Maybe we have to keep this rougher as I hope to. But, so let's just focus on, you know, putting down the base colors. To still come to a result today. Because I think I'd do the rest off camera. Because, yeah, finishing this would take like what? 1 hour? At the very most. Probably more like half an hour. Give the mini a tattoo? I don't know, I want to kind of keep him lore accurate. So, no tattoos. Does he have a tattoo? No. Yeah, I'll skip on that tattoo. But good thinking. Good thinking, though. It's so fun with so many people around. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream, by the way. Really happy to have you guys here. Streaming is always so much fun. Wet Sturland Mud reminds me of Chocolate Angel Delight. Oh, really? I would want to see the cathedral in Munster because my local Catholic church is based off of that church. Oh, really? The Münster Dome. Alright. Was in Münster. So, funny thing about Münster. Münster has a great university. Basically, the entire city is just one big university that stretches throughout the whole city. And they also have a huge department for art. And, yeah, basically, yeah, art. And I wanted to, you know, get into that university to study art, and they smashed my my application to pieces. So I sent them, I think, like 30 works of mine, different things like sketches, paintings, miniatures, even, and said like, hey, I'd like to enroll into your art university. And they sent a letter back. So I thought I would definitely get, you know, get a place there. Because it was a year with very little people, you know, completing their A levels and, you know, stuff like that. And I thought I wasn't half bad, so I was honestly expecting to get accepted. I got a letter back telling me, black on white, that I have 0 artistic capabilities, that none of my works could be considered like even close to art, and that on a scale of 1 to 3, I would get a 4 if the scale would go that low, basically. That was insane. I was crushed, dude. And they sent that to me multiple times because I tried to enroll there multiple times. And that didn't work out. So yeah, that was crushing. And that is also the reason why I had time after that to create this YouTube channel and name it Brink of Art. Because apparently I'm not an artist, I'm only on the brink of art. Ain't that fun? Ain't that a nice villain origin story? It's so nice to build and listen. Nice. That sounds like something I would write to someone, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's kinda cool, right? I'm glad that I could turn this around in this way. And have like this origin story, but yeah, back then it was not funny at all. I opened the letter in front of the whole family as well, and everyone was like expecting for me to get accepted. And then reading that stuff, holy shit, dude. I was sulking for like 3 days before I could even consider what my next steps would be. Inquisitor says, fair enough, just thought it would be a good idea to sneak your channel's logo onto the mini. Ooh. Didn't realize it's a lore figure. Oh, fair enough. But yeah, that was a good idea. Maybe I'll do that off camera. Because trying to, you know, you have the feed, it's kind of impossible to see. It's nice to build and listen. Thank you. Hopefully it'll stay nice. By the way, we are now listening to the Overture from the New World, a piece that was also used during the One Piece fight Luffy against Crocodile. Silver Tortoise says, or at least it has stained glass window and talks about the cathedral monster. Alright. Most likely because of the heritage to the town. I mean, yeah. RTRT says, Europe is so full of cathedrals and castles. The town I live in currently has a castle I walk past daily and I still haven't visited. And I love castles. Yeah, my city that I come from also has 3 castles. And we're basically just like a small town, right? Very cool. Brutal rejection? Yeah. That was brutal, dude. Yeah. I mean, I guess I went about it kinda arrogantly as well. Because I didn't wanna, you know, I didn't wanna fake my application. So I was like, alright, I'll just, you know, paint and sketch what I think would be cool. And really pour my heart into that instead of trying to be meta about it. And look up what other people drew. I looked up one video about a person who told her story about what she did to get accepted into university. And I was like, that is kind of stupid. I'm sure I can do better than that. Apparently I couldn't. Silver Turtles is now following. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thanks for following. That's so cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Glad to see that you deem me worthy of your attention. Thank you very much. What the heck, my rural American town has a big church and that's it? I mean, though, to be fair, I love American churches as well. I really love the wooden churches. I think those look very cute. I love this in US city build games. Just place a castle for tourists. It's like, hey, look what they need to mimic our power situation. You know what's crazy? My city used to have... So my city has 3 castles in there. 1 really beautiful one and 2 that you could drive past and not realize it's a castle, right? It used to have actually 4 castles, so even 1 more. But unfortunately that one was in such bad, disrepair that it had to be torn down and that's where the modern post office is now. Scandalous. And atop of those 4 castles, we also used to have an entire fortress from like the 1700s that guarded our port. And that one just, got abandoned and rotted away. And you can now still see the earthworks of the walls. So basically, it is kinda there if you look for it. The fortress, I mean. And to this day, you can even still go there and try to find like cannonballs or other sorts of like coins and equipment from the soldiers. It's very cool still. Yeah, we used to have 5 castles, but now we only have 3. Oh no. Woe is us. Yep. It was built in 1848, all brick and copper steeples. That's so cool. Again, I kind of like that. I think it's cool that no matter where you look, it's always something cool that you can appreciate about, like, for example, a language or a building style. Castellan, orbital drop pods in. How's it going? Hi, Castellan. Which kind of drop pod? The ones where you can open and close the hatches, or the new one? Yeah, it's going quite well. As you can see, we have come very far with Sly Marbo. Not finished, of course, but I don't think that I'll get to finish him because my girlfriend's dancing class will be over in like 1 minute. At least what she told me at the time. And I still have to clear up the place, or otherwise she will be mad. Not mad, but like disappointed, and that's worse in my opinion. The Inquisitor says I have like 10 around here. Some got torn down, sadly. Castles, yeah. That's like the thing. Wanna have a sweet fun fact? There are more castles in Germany than McDonald's in the US. Ain't that cool? One of my favorite fun facts. RTRT says, my town still has some of its own walls. It has a road building along its top now. It's easy to forget that we're walking along the walls. Ah, that's cool. And Castellan clarifies, the OG drop pods, none of that Primaris closed door and tactical rock nonsense. Hell yeah. Based Castellan. You really make your name all the honor. Alright. I guess now that we are kind of finishing up, kind of sad, I would love to stream for a few more hours, but real life takes over. Please, if you want, follow the channel either on Twitch and or on YouTube. Because if we get enough people together, maybe I can do this full time and stream for longer. I don't know. Your choice, no pressure though. And yeah. Real life is catching up to me. I do have to, close this down now. But yeah, all in all, I think we did a very good, like a kind of good job with the Castellan. It has this look to it, like as if you were watching a video in 780p and not full HD. I think I need to look into that more. And I guess paint him off camera on my own time. And I will share the full finished version on my YouTube channel in the photo section. I don't know what's called. RTRT says, great stream, liked and subscribed. Oh, thank you so much, dude. Really glad to have you aboard. See you next week then. Castellan says, wait, more castles than McDonald's in Germany? My brother was there a couple of years ago and said that there were loads of castles. Yeah. So maybe I said it wrong. So there are more castles in Germany, more places with a castle in Germany than places with a McDonald's in the US. And even comparing just the land itself, that's quite the achievement. Though Austria has also a lot of castles. There's so many castles in Austria that they have an entire state that's literally just called the Burgenland, or the Land of Castles. So do with that whatever you want. So there's also a nice castle in Austria, Burg Hoch Osterwitz. You wanna look that up? Castle Hoch Osterwitz, which is insanely cool. It has like 11 gates or something, all, you know, circling a lone mountain. And it was never taken, like in no conflict, because no army can bash through 11 gates, right? And yeah, very nice castle. Love castles, probably going to have to visit. Oh, definitely. Hoch Osterwitz is nice. And like, most castles in Germany are. Visit Rothenburg ob der Taube as well. I'll type it in one last time. Kinda cheesy to visit that town, because it really is like the medieval town in Germany. If you type in medieval Germany, that's probably the photos that you'll get of that city. But yeah, Castellan says, love Sly Marbo, had fun destroying a berserker squad back in 3rd edition. Holy shit. Have to look at the stats of this guy. Hang on, let me look at it right now. So this is the booklet that I got with it. Don't know how accurate those are, but I did get the model for my birthday, so 3 months ago. So let's have a look. Oh, sorry. So 6 movement. Alright, ballistic and weapon skill of +2. Strength and toughness not too crazy. Oh, toughness of 3, okay. A lot more. 4 wounds, that's nice. 4 attacks, that's nice. Leadership of 7, alright, okay. And saving of 5. For a guy with almost no armor, that's crazy. Fun fact, European castles are more for war than Chinese castles. Oh really? Didn't know. Interesting. The Chinese castles are older, I think. Or at least I've heard. He has weapons, a Ripper pistol. Okay. Wounds infantry on a roll of 2+. This weapon wounds infantry units on a roll of 2+. So any infantry. That's crazy. That's so cool. Holy shit. Only 12 inches of range though. No AP, of course, and 1 damage. Fair enough. 3 shots, wounding on a 2. That's cool. Alright. And Venomed Blade. So that's the blade that he has, so it's got poison on it. Have to remember that when painting. Maybe a little bit of a pinkish hue would be nice, or a purple hue. Strength 1+, so it's strength 4. So 4 attacks with strength 4. This weapon wounds infantry units on a roll of 2+. Alright, okay, so he wounds every infantry on a roll of 2+. That's so cool, holy shit, and what a guy. And a frag grenade. Okay. Loner. Officers cannot issue orders to Sly. Officers cannot issue orders to Sly Marbo. That's so cool. What? That's kind of fun. So he just shows up. He just shows up and wreaks havoc. I love it. And he can also never be the warlord. That's fair enough, though. Lethal ambush. During deployment, okay, that's kind of a lot, but he has his own deployment special rule. That's so he sniped with pistols, so it actually is a thing that he has a scope on his pistol. Damn. Based. 1 with his surroundings. If Sly Marbo receives the benefit of cover, add 2 to his saving throws instead of 1. Okay, good thing we gave him camo pants. Like fighting a shadow. Once per battle at the start of any of your movement phases, Sly Marbo can disappear as long as there are no enemy models within 6 inches of him. If he does remove him from the battlefield at the end of the next movement phase, he reappears using lethal ambush ability. Holy shit. This is such a cool model. What the fuck? Hell yeah. This is so good. Point values. If you are playing a matched play game, or a game that uses a point limit, Sly Marbo costs 65 points. Okay, fair enough. That is so cool though. That's so fun. Holy shit. Alright. So a very based character. Hell yeah. These are exactly the kinds of rules that I would look for in a miniature. Especially like a hero like this guy. And JD is here as well. Hi JD. Catching the stream at the last second. Let's go. There's also a funny story about Chinese king visiting Europe and writing back that he never saw walls built like that, purely constructed for war and war alone. Alright. Can look into that as well. Yeah. Sly's roots reflect his lore perfectly, proving that GW can do it. Oh yeah, great point actually. But to be fair, this is also like a purely meme miniature, right? This model, you can't buy this in a store, like in most stores, like don't have it. You can only get it online, and it's only like fine cast. So, yeah. No wonder that they can have a bit more fun with it as well. So I did read the rules of a Warlord Titan, and as Midwinter Minis put it, he is surprisingly weak. So yeah, should get more, like better rules on that one. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, this is the end. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours, roughly, 2 to 25 minutes. Because I was a bit late, because I was already doing the dishes, wanting to be safe. After 2.5 hours of painting, this is basically where we are at right now. You can probably be faster than me, simply by, I guess, not filming everything. That's probably, and not talking. When's the next stream? Great question, Inquisitor. So, the next stream, let me quickly look at my calendar. I'm fairly certain that the next stream will be next week on Wednesday. Next week on Wednesday. Yes, I have nothing. Yep, so the next stream will be Wednesday the 4th. Very likely. I don't know if midday or rather in the evening. Judging by the time it is right now, maybe in the evening. I don't know. But I'll be sure to put up a notification to tell you. And the stream after that. But that weekend will be no stream because it's my girlfriend's birthday and we'll be away. We'll be with her family. Yes. But again, that's it for today. With thunderous applause, I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. Thank you so much for every guy who showed up. We had amazing results. Thanks for all the talking that we did. It was great fun. It's great to be back. And I will do my very best to keep it up, give you guys a proper loadout, give you guys a proper upload schedule. And yeah, just in general, be back. YouTube and Twitch. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next. Bye bye.